Hello everybody, this is Bernat from Woodland Carvings here in my studio in Barcelona, and today I want to walk through how I carve one of my patterns from my book of patterns. And basically all we're gonna need is a laser printed pattern on a piece of paper, regular paper, a transfer marker or a heat transfer tool, anything that can transfer a laser printed design to a surface. In this case it's gonna be a piece of wood, which I don't have here, and a chip carving knife. Okay, that's how I'm gonna carve this pattern, with a chip carving knife. So let's get to it. Alright, I have my piece of wood. Transfer marker. Okay, this is a product that contains a liquid that when applied to a laser printer machine piece of paper, it will transfer the design. So I only apply liquid until I see the design. You see on these areas, I will not apply any more design. I don't need it. So that should do it. And now all I need is a solid piece of material to apply pressure, because now the design is not here. So before it dries, I'm just gonna apply some pressure. Make sure that all the design is transferred. Easy as that. It's looking pretty sharp. Let's get carving. So I hold the piece with my left hand and I start carving on top of the line. The dotted areas are the parts that we will be removing. And there you go, the first cut. And what I like to do when I already removed the piece is I carve in the opposite way of where it's empty, right? So I emptied this area and now I will have a thin wall here, and if I start carving from this side, I might break this wall, or if I start carving from this side, I might break this wall. So what I will do is I carve on the opposite direction. This way, with this top cut, when I make this cut or this cut, all the pressure is gonna relieve from this cut that I made. Okay, now that you see clearly, there's a wall here in between these two chips, and if I don't protect this cut here first, and I carve right away from this side, I might break this wall. So now it's gonna just be repeating. I protect the wall. And just like this, we have this first part of the pattern carved. Again, I carve in the opposite direction. Now, you will see here, in this area here, those triangles, they are very tiny. So we only need to use the very tip of the knife, right? So this would be a lot to use, but the very tip of the knife, all right? Because we're carving from each one of the sides. So that means we only need a tiny part to cut from each one of those sides. If we use like a wider area of the knife, what's gonna happen is we're gonna carve further than we want to and probably break the walls. And that's not what we want. We want to keep the pattern nice and clean. As you see, only the very tip of the knife. And that's all we need. So now we've already carved the two main parts of this design. From now on, it's gonna be all the time a repetitive pattern, right? From this area here, just repeat the same patterns over and over again. So now I'm just gonna get on carving. I will leave you with some close-up details of the carving process. Hopefully you enjoy the process and as well the final result. So now we finished the carving. Here's the final result. And as you can see, we still have some lines that we need to remove. And I'm gonna show you how I clean now those cuts. For example, let's look at this line here. The idea is to remove this line by carving with a knife. And for example, we're gonna clean this one right here. So I place my knife on top of the line. I put some pressure to the side. Now it's clean. Also, we have some little leftovers such as here, here, and those we can remove as well by knife. Okay, so as you can see here, we've already finished the carving and we cleaned the black lines. And if I were to sand it, I would use like a 2000 grit, maybe 1000, but no lower than 1000. Otherwise, we can flatten we can flatten the sharp walls that we have here, okay? Alright, so this is it. This is the piece that we carved. And thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions or you want to choose which of the next patterns we're gonna carve in this series, I'm just gonna be adding them here at the end of the video. Remember, if you want a chip carving kit, you can go over to my website, as well as transfer markers, carving knives, anything you need. Okay? Thank you for joining. Take care.